What's going on there, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the other day, I was grinding the heck out of Battlefield 6, so I wasn't really, keeping my eyes peeled on all the brand new news information. I was locked in. I couldn't pull myself away. I've been having way too much fun with this game, and again, I will be streaming it today over on Twitch, where you can go ahead and get access to a closed beta code by just simply watching my stream for around 30 minutes. Of course, if you guys are interested, you can find a link to my Twitch channel down in the description of this video. But after I finished off that stream, ladies and gentlemen, holy cow. I went online and I saw everything just exploding with how popular Battlefield 6 truly is. And I did not expect this whatsoever. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen. Battlefield, as a franchise, yeah, it gets some hype here and there, but it never really pops. It never gets to the point where it's just topping everything out there. We get that excitement factor, but usually it ends right there and then. But Battlefield 6 is a completely different story. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if the Battlefield franchise is just something people have been craving now or what people's opinions are. But the player count and also the viewership for this game is peaking over absolutely everything online. And literally, I'm not lying to you guys when I say this, Battlefield 6 is truthfully breaking the internet. Let's just go ahead and start off with the first tweet that I have here, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see right here, this is posted by, I think, Kwanzi or something like that. I saw this over on Twitter. They said, Call of Duty is officially dead. Obviously, COD is not dead, ladies and gentlemen. Black Ops 7 will probably top charts and get a bunch of sales, so on and so forth. But look at this crap. Battlefield 6 has 867,000 individuals viewing it over on Twitch at a singular time. Almost every single massive content creator you could possibly think of is playing Battlefield 6, even the smaller content creators, even the medium content. Everybody is hands-on when it comes to this game. This is more than any previous Battlefield game that I have ever witnessed. Ever. And personally, I actually looked up the Twitch numbers while I was in the middle of my stream. You could even, go ahead and ask anybody in my chat because we all witnessed it at the same time. Battlefield 6 peaked above 900,000 viewers. You heard that correct. We almost got to 1 million people viewing Battlefield 6. I don't think anybody understands how absolutely absurd that truly is. Now, of course, there's many factors for this. People want to go ahead and get closed beta codes, and they know the only way they can go ahead and obtain those is by watching streams, so that adds to, the viewership. Also, it's a brand new Battlefield game, so, that's going to add to the viewership. But, 2042 had some hype. It never even came close to these numbers. No Battlefield game, no game in general I can really think of comes close to 1 million concurrent viewers at a time. We're not talking about, over the course of the whole day. No, I'm talking about in that exact moment, almost 1 million people watching the game. That is the most insane thing I think I've personally ever witnessed when it came to this platform. At first, I thought EA was just trying to gaslight everyone into, thinking that, they truly wanted to get 100 million players, which is just an absurd number, but just 1 million people watching a stream at one time. Again, that's not accounting for the whole day. That's probably tens of millions, close to hundreds of millions right there viewing the game. I thought they were just playing around, but they truly mean business. They actually believe in the product that they're about to ship out to us, ladies and gentlemen. I've been trying to tell you guys, but Vincent Pello was probably their best pickup ever, and there's a reason why he is not only the head at EA DICE, but basically he's up there in the ranks when it comes to EA as a company. They're taking his words very seriously, and he's guiding this franchise in a very good direction, to the point where, he's doing it again. He did it with Apex Legends, and here we are with Battlefield 6, and we're getting basically even more viewership than I think any of us ever expected. It's outstanding. And ladies and gentlemen, it's even crazier because Insider Gaming put out a post saying, Battlefield 6 has beaten almost every Call of Duty game ever made on Twitch. Now, I didn't believe this at first. I thought some COD game had to do something right. Something had to hit the high ranks, especially maybe when Warzone dropped any of that sorts. But I looked it up, and this is what the numbers are looking like, ladies and gentlemen. Realistically, we barely even seen anything over 400,000 concurrent viewers for a Call of Duty stream, besides for Warzone, of course. But Warzone isn't like COD. I'm talking about multiplayer, what people come to Call of Duty for, 6v6, like how people are coming to Battlefield right now for the Conquest Breakthrough experience. We have not seen numbers like that, truthfully. So, Tom Henderson with Insider Gaming is not lying. Battlefield 6 truthfully beat almost every viewer count you could possibly think of when it comes to COD. COD has been king for so long when it comes to dominating the FPS space that nobody can touch them when it comes to viewers, when it comes to popularity, when it comes to the spark, the trends. And here we are, and we're seeing single-handedly a Battlefield game, out of anything else in the world, a Battlefield game, actually stepping to COD when it comes to taking that throne for FPS shooters. Again, do I think it's going to knock it out? Probably not. But this is just so fascinating to witness, and it's really cool to compare the numbers and see that not many games have ever been able to come close to averaging almost 1 million people at one time watching on Twitch. And it gets even crazier, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, within the beta, there were already hundreds of thousands of people waiting to go ahead and log in. And I think at this very current moment, I looked it up for Battlefield 6 Open Beta, the all-time peak is already at 334,000 players. That is day one for, let me be very specific with this, a closed beta. So you had to go out of your way to find access to get into this beta, meaning that's probably the majority of the hardcore crowd. I'll be honest, the majority of all my friends wouldn't go through the effort. If I said it's an open beta and they can hop on right now, they'll be like, okay, let me go ahead and download it. But if I said, okay, you have to go watch a stream, you got to go get a code, and then you can log in, over half of them are going to say, okay, I'm waiting for the open beta. So this is not something for your everyday casual, player. This is for your hardcore audience. And you're already almost peaking at 350,000. I bet you would even get closer to 400,000. And we haven't even touched upon the open beta, let alone the second day of the closed beta. I mean, again, in comparison, Call of Duty as a whole, and this is including Warzone and the multiplayer experience of Black Ops 6. So keep that in mind. This isn't just Black Ops 6. This isn't just Warzone. This is 2 games combined. This all-time peak was 488,000. That's for 2 games combined compared to a beta, a closed beta for Battlefield 6, which is almost nearing in on 400,000. And again, I want to make it very clear, I'm not dunking on COD's numbers here because COD's numbers are extraordinarily impressive. Let's be honest, they do this on a year-to-year basis. It's always popping off. So it's just as simple as it is. As much as I want there to be competition and I want COD to, feel a little bit of the struggle to, redeem themselves again. It's just, like I said, it is what it is. It's going to pop off. I am just fascinated with the fact that Battlefield is competing so heavily because it's never competed to this level ever. And I barely see any game ever able, FPS-wise, able to reach Call of Duty levels. Obviously, other games out there in other genres can compete. But in the FPS world, seriously, it's just the simple truth. Every single person knows it. Call of Duty literally has that crown. It is just so awesome to see Battlefield get a little close to it. You know what I'm saying? And, it's not going to take it because it's Battlefield. Battlefield is its own game at the end of the day. But it makes me so happy to see that the genuine care and love in this community right now is massive. There is a big player base for Battlefield that has been craving something that is traditional and good. And it seems that, the community is happy that we have finally got something with a good foundation, something that can be, truly built off of over time and not a complete disaster where we're going to have to, spend over half the year, probably the full year, editing everything to make it, to good standards so we can finally move past that point and get some DLC. No, this game has the bones. It has the foundation. It's solid, and I think people are recognizing it. I see very few who think it's just simply a bad core game. Some might just not like the formula, and that's fair, and they move on. But when it comes to the quality, people are very pleased. And as I stated before, I have to give it to DICE. They polished this bad boy off. I mean, they could not pull another 2042. That was an embarrassment to not just the FPS scene, but the whole gaming world. That was something different. And I mean, my goodness, I think they understood the assignment and knew that they had to do a little extra polishing. Of course, it's not there, right? I mean, we're in beta right now. They're stress testing servers and things are buggy, laggy, all of the above. But the game, my goodness, it is It's solid. And I'm very happy to see that Battlefield can finally have some light on it because it deserves it. It's a franchise that is iconic, that has built so many phenomenal moments and memories. And it has been down in the dumps for way too long. People have just not been able to play it whatsoever. You could see by the player counts and just all the controversy that goes around every single one of these Battlefield games. Well, not Battlefield, Battlefield 5 and Battlefield 2042. But that's a long period of time, guys. That's long. We've been without, experience that the people really wanted for ages. And it feels like we finally are able to scratch that itch. And I truthfully hope that they can keep up this momentum. Because, man, that's the hardest part with Battlefield. They do have some pretty sparky, beginnings. But once they get into the game, usually people trickle away. But I've never seen reception to a Battlefield game ever like this. It's been ages since I've seen reception like this. So I'm hoping that, what we usually have is going to be amplified. And Battlefield can finally become a bit more mainstream and get back into that competitive arena and try to fight for that crown of being a top FPS game. But, ladies and gentlemen, as always, if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like. If you hate it, leave a dislike. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. I post daily here at 8 morning Eastern Time, and sometimes we even double upload at around 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So, of course, if you guys want to stay up to date with all these videos, I discuss Call of Duty, Battlefield, Splitgate 2, Arc Raiders, I suggest subscribing and hitting that bell because it helps you stay notified with all of the recent uploads. And last but not least, if you guys are interested in my live streams, I stream Monday through Saturday. And this weekend, I will be streaming a little off, stream on Sunday too. So we're going to be grinding out the beta all weekend long. You can get access today for the closed beta by watching my stream for about 30 minutes or so. And then the open beta is going to begin on Saturday, so everybody can go ahead and enter. But of course, if you guys are interested in any of those streams, you can find a link to that channel down in the description of this video. But as always, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.